What do you mean he's not dead yet?
That's what I literally just said, Sly. He's not dead yet.
Gosh dang it.
I kept hitting him with the baguette like 20 times and he still wouldn't die.
It's all because of that clockwork heart he's holding on there, Sly.
I knew it. We killed one heart, he just had another one. No, it's fine. Welcome back, everybody, to Sly 2.
A tiger always has two hearts, don't you know?
It took
I
some
had it in their
detective
springy
work,
tail.
but
I have the
again,
signs
managed
to prove
track
it.
down where
No,
Rajan
so
had gone into hiding.
So apparently it is. So apparently
Somehow,
another big
he managed
first
to
for the
transform a
series is
long-forgotten temple
we now
into the
have
thriving center of a
some
spice
characters.
operation.
And I realize this is
A
abandoned
rematch.
in later games. Yeah, I realize other later games abandoned.
Yeah, this is the only game to do it. Basically, every...
Forced us to walk the
From here on
long
out.
distance to our target.
Oh
To a
dear.
few problems along
Help
the
me,
way,
Sly!
but pushed on.
From here on out, every last member of the Claw Gang is going to have
For the
basically
temple was
a
more than just
initial
Rajan's
us
hideout.
messing up with them,
It was also
and a second
home
of
to the
they're no
clockwork
longer
heart.
fooling around anymore.
And then a rematch.
With the exception of one other character,
So
but that's
strong
not essentially the
and tireless,
finale.
It could increase spice production.
So he is using the
tenfold.
hearts
Good for
the hearts
Rajan,
beating
but awful for the
to
rest of the
disperse and basically keep. It's a basic.
Hope
When
he's
you
not
think about how a
counting on
heart
that heart
works,
too
especially an
much,
Undying one,
because
you
tonight,
basically have
it comes
a
home with
perpetual
me.
motion machine.
Yeah,
he's
an
using
unlimited
that
resource.
and he's using that to
Basically.
continuously stir and keep the spice growth working. We're gonna be in some trouble.
Yeah, and let's just say that some of our methods to taking this fucker down are some could consider extremely inhumane. But fuck it, we're the Scooper Gang. How much do we know about morals anyway?
Let's see.
Did you just say the Scooper Gang?
The Scuba Gang.
I tried to say Cooper Gang.
The Scuba Gang.
Scuba Gang.
We are horribly out of our element, Scuba Gang. Let's be frank. We're in the middle of the forest. This is not at all our element.
What?
Now I'm just imagining all the gang members, all of the Slight members, just like in scuba gear and like swimming trunks and whatnot.
I see a pool. We can't really do that. But anyway, so as always, I will be showing off the area as best I can while also going for glue bottles.
Sly, I
Just,
hate to say this, but I'm a land turtle. I don't work with sea.
Oh god, did you ever see that viral video where some dumb... I was about to say dumb broad, but I was like, I realized that's probably a little too mean to her. Some woman who made a viral video like, oh my gosh, I'm here to save all the animals, you know, I care so much about the animals, and she's picking up what is clearly a tortoise, and then proceeds to, on footage, proceeds to chuck the tortoise into a river.
Jesus.
Because she thought it was some sea turtle and was going to throw it back in the water. No.
I'm
She just
sorry.
Not only that, but she did it off of a bridge, and even if the thing could swim, you just dropped it down a 15-foot drop into water.
That's what happens when you do your research, kiddies.
Yeah.
Also, just to ease your worry, Logan, I don't think they'd be offended by you calling her a broad. It's a term that's so old school. Most people won't know if you mean that as an insult or not.
Yeah,
could be
some would say
ironic.
it's a bit of a broad term.
Get it?
Fair
Right.
enough. More about this pool later. So, oh yeah, a new thing that this area gives us is finally some use of the rail slide and stuff from Sly 1.
Yep.
With slippery jungle vines everywhere.
It's like they forgot to utilize it up until this point.
Well, you could sort of say the same about the ninja spire jump back in chapter 2.
Yeah, but we're slowly, steadily learning them again.
Yep, we're slowly, steadily inching our way back to some familiar territory. I mean, I guess it helps too that most of these upgrades are mostly like territorial based. So it's not like we weren't gonna. We've always had these abilities. It's just that we never really needed them up until now.
Right.
It's not like say Metroid Prime where you pretty much lost all your abilities by a simple explosion.
Yeah, and just being
Yeah.
slammed against the wall. That made no sense. But, oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, remember back in...
Oh, boy.
I mean, hey, she's suffered worse. I mean, remember back in Brawl when Ridley pretty much just grinded her on the...
Grinded the suit against a wall. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that sucked.
That was an awesome scene.
By that point, she may as well have been stripped down to her zero suit.
Isn't that what happened?
No.
No, not yet.
Why was she in the Zero suit for a while then?
Well, she was in the... Well,
She was looking for a power suit.
yeah, the subspace the subspace
right.
mooks pretty much took her power suit.
So she worked with Pikachu. That's right. Oh, we need to do that. If there, We gotta find some way to do net play or something, because I would love to do that.
I
Like
unfortunately
campaign.
don't own Brawl anymore, so I don't have any means of recording Subspace Emissary. I think Sealy
sorry,
said,
I
I
still
think
have
Sealy
Brawl.
said she wanted to. So.
Or you could use that. Or you could. I was gonna say. Or you could use that. That's my best dolphin impression. I'm sorry.
Whatever
I
you,
had to
whatever
hop
you,
out for a minute.
whatever you just said, Echo, I'm totally and 100%
Okay.
agreeing with you.
Yo,
You gonna be right back or nah?
what did I miss?
Oh, sorry. Oh. You were saying you would. Oh, you were saying you would just come back from hopping out. I thought you said you were about to hop out.
No, I had to hop out.
Oh,
Everything
okay.
okay?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Yeah, it's just the
well,
cat and the
stealth
dog
is-
being dumb.
Aw.
Oh goodness, who knew
I
that a
know
cat
a
and a
lot
dog may
about-
not?
Yeah.
Cat dog.
It's like
Cat dog.
cat dog. I should probably go and watch that series back sometime.
It
know,
has not
speaking-
aged well.
I bet it hasn't. Speaking of fancy, spicy memes that I just can't stop shutting up about, but then restarting the conversation with them. That was a meme that I liked, but I'm sad that no one ever really did anything else with. It was this meme where you see Winslow walking in, seeing dog with cat in its mouth, and just walking right back out of there. Like, well,
I
now
love that meme.
He's seen that kind of shit before. He doesn't need to see it
And
twice.
down
there.
you go.
Okay, he's good. Oh, crap, we're still in the
Do you
Just
know
like
what
the-
that reminds me of? One scene from... the way you said that reminds me of this one scene from one of the DCAU animated movies, where it shows like Batman like sneaking around this mansion looking for clues. There's this one thug, and it's the thug that he was fighting earlier, opens the door, he sees Batman, he doesn't say anything, he just stands there, slowly moves out, closes the door, and his friend's like, "What'd you see?" "I saw nothing."
It's
You know,
just
they
like, he
did the same
knows.
exact thing in Ed and Eddie as well.
Yeah,
Really?
he didn't see the Batman. He saw Cankers.
Either way, well,
Aren't
clearly
they one and
DC
the same, though?
Well, clearly DC is still unoriginal in stealing its content.
I thought I thought the Batman was Eddie's brother.
Oh, good
I
point.
saw
good point.
nothing.
You know, wouldn't that be something if Eddie's brother, the actor for Eddie's brother, voiced Batman at one point?
Jesus Christ.
Who voiced Eddie's brother?
Beats me.
You really want
No, I
that being Batman?
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, there are a lot of people that thought the idea of Kevin Michael Richardson as the Joker was odd, and yet he proved us wrong.
Yes, he did.
I
He did a
mean,
pretty
would
fun
that
job with
sort
it.
of be being playing against character, I guess? I don't know. Ugh.
Nothing wrong with
Frickin',
playing against type now and then.
Yeah.
Frickin' Paul DiMaggio did a pretty good job of the Joker.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite John performances, not gonna lie.
I don't know how he didn't see me.
You didn't
But I'm
see
not gonna
anything.
question it.
So
Yes,
what are we
sir.
doing?
goodies.
Collecting bottles?
Yeah, I'm clicking Clue Ball. This is what I do again to remind Nikki and the viewers, because it's been a while for us. There's been a lot of spacing between these parts. We'll get back to a more consistent thing hopefully soon. At the part of every single area. Oh, I'm going to also show off the Insanity Strike.
Insanity
Point being,
Bottle,
we're
that's right, I
just
forgot
really
that was a
fucking
thing.
thirsty tonight.
Okay, so what happens is with the Insanity Strike, whack him,
Dude,
stick that, why
That-
not? And now he's going to go off on a little
It is
rampage.
I'm on a rampage.
Okay then. Have
Oh
fun,
my
Mr.
god.
Have fun, Mr. George.
He'll have plenty of fun.
Do we break the pottery?
I can already hear him making new friends.
Say hi to Ralph for me when you meet him.
Ooh,
Here.
camera.
Camera.
Thank you.
There you
Fancy.
He's having fun
platform
down there.
prowess.
go. Look at him go.
Look at that.
Such a nice young man.
Big roll.
Perfect.
That's
so
how you make
fast.
friends, kiddies.
Oh gosh, he's just destroying. Okay.
He's
Hey,
literally,
well,
I'm on to you, Wall.
anyways, so what was I gonna say? Crap. Oh geez, he's still giving him a what for?
We were talking about playing type for
Jeez.
actors, or playing against type.
Dang.
Thank you.
Oh crap! It wore off. He's coming back for more.
Off he goes.
This guy feels like the equivalent of the short, scrawny man taking control of the big fat man to steal somebody's lunch money.
But yeah, so to catch you up, Icky, whenever I start a new area, I first, because again, I like to do the pacing where like I start off, each part begins with a projector screen or something, just to lay out what we're gonna do in that video. So because you only really get like 1 or 2 missions before the first projector screen. I also take the time in the first part to show off jump, nice, to also to also show off all the clue bottles, which also gives me an excuse to show off the general layout of the open-ended area, while also because then it allows me to later on just cut back and forth between where all the mission markers are.
I guess it helps. Yeah, it helps out in the long run. Which, in my case, like since I usually don't go for the clue bottles anyway, like no better. I guess can't think of a better way to actually show off the world map aside from this.
Right.
But it's gonna make things kind of weird whenever I get around to recording. Well, either it's gonna be Logan or it's gonna be I don't know who's gonna be yet. But whenever we get to Thieves in Time.
Thieves in Time.
Oh yeah, crap, Thieves in Time.
Don't worry, it'll be a long while before we get to that because Hype still has to record Slide 3 for us.
I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
Yep.
The touchdown brings us around again to find.
Anyways,
Okay, I'm just gonna continue this. Look, it's the scuba. Look, it's the scuba gang's hideout down there.
by the way, I want to ask you guys. Oh,
What's up?
what do you guys think of the 2-parter chapters for this half of the game?
I don't mind them.
I don't mind them too. I don't usually mind them too often. I will say, like, they're not always the most. Sometimes they can feel a little repetitive, but other times they're harmless.
I think definitely the Gothic architecture ones can be pretty long in some areas. But I'll say that I like that in giving these multiple chapters, it gives the villains much more like volume, much more depth to them, much more like they seem more. They seem more formidable in that it takes more than one chapter just to really do them down.
Which I guess would explain why. I mean, I kind of jumping ahead of it. Why I usually don't remember the villains from Slide 3 or 4 too terribly well because you don't get that much screen time with them.
Right. Whereas Slide 1, I mean, you remember them because that was like your first introduction. I'll always remember the villains from Slide 2.
They were your main objective outside of the Thieves Raccoonus. I mean, the Claw Gang, true, they have their clock. Well, the Claw Gang, obviously, they still have their clockwork parts and everything. Slide 3, when you stop and think about it, you only went after those villains as a means to an end.
Right, like you just so happened to find them because you're really after more partners.
They were in your way.
And with
They were
4,
more
it's
of
like...
an obstacle than your straight up target.
Heck, one of the chapters the villain wasn't even a person; it was a thing.
Right. And with Sly 4, it was kind of like an amalgamation of 2 and 3, in that they were like together as a group for a cause, kind of like 2, but they were also kind of partly a means to an end, like in 3.
Kinda, sorta, yeah. I mean, okay, I know some people are gonna think of me as weird as this. I actually do think more of Sly 4's moves more so than I do 3's. Even though I will admit 4's can be pretty stupid at times.
4 has some weird villains, but I guess it is also the fact that they have
more of a presence.
Well, yeah, and especially since they are like directly related to the main problem of that game. The problem is in like the main source of conflict in that game. They're not just on the sidelines. You also take them out while you're in the area.
Exactly. And I mean hell, in Sly 3's case, in one chapter you don't really have a set boss or set villain to face. I mean the closest thing you have is that freaky voodoo mask. More on that later though.
Yeah. But all in all, come on. all in all, frickin' come on, Sucker Punch, Andor, Monkey, what the heck is the other? Sanzaro. Like, come on, you ported it to the PS Vita, but you didn't even once think about the 4.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
Actually, the 4.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Sanzaro get a second chance with the Sly game because I mean, they got the gameplay down perfectly fine. I mean, their writing wasn't that great, but at the same time, it's not like they definitely knew how to make a Sly game. It's just the matter of well, yeah, and the execution I think was mostly fine. And the biggest problem though, aside from it just being like it could have been better than it was, they left it on a goddamn cliffhanger.
That and my biggest complaint, more on that later, is the new characters that you find in each of the areas. Like the new character who I won't spoil for the sake of anyone who hasn't actually seen that game yet, but the new character that you unlock in each chapter is basically a better version of Sly. So I'm just telling you right now, from my experience with chapter 1 at least, I started playing that character much more often than I actually did Sly. Like Sly actually became one of the least played characters.
But hey,
to be fair, without saying what it is, yeah, I was about to say, to be fair, with the guest of each
My feet
chapter
are
is
on the
basically
ground.
just a better
Your feet
Sly.
are on the ground.
No, yeah, they are.
Sorry, go
But yeah,
ahead.
the whole comparison with Sly with those, without explaining much, I'll at least give the game cred and say that it makes sense in context why they would be pretty similar to Sly.
Right, and
Yeah.
you know what? I got more merit out of them than I did with the partners in Sly 3. Because they didn't even feel like proper extensions. They just felt like, oh wait, we're just literally gimping Bentley and Murray, all of them, of all
Bentley
their
and
other
Murray.
stuff that they usually
Oh,
do,
wait.
just giving them to other characters.
For a second, I
maybe-
thought you said
will-
Bentley and Burry.
Benny and Maurice.
Burry.
Benny and Maureen.
Benny and Maurice.
Benny and Maurice. Crazy old Maurice.
To us up all night, raving.
Maurice, old crazy.
Crazy
I
Misty.
love it. Maurice. Crazy.
Whoa, slow down, Maurice.
This is the part.
Use up all night raving.
This is the part of the video where we've completely lost our minds and we're just talking about other stuff. We're almost done with the clue bottles, though.
Well, I've already
Yeah, well,
lost
that's the
my
other thing.
mind because I've been off my
That's the-
meds for 2 days.
Uh-oh. Like,
Oh, that's the other
overall-
thing. Well, that's the other thing. From here on out, there's now going to be 30, and I think at one point it becomes almost 40, or is it always just 30?
I think it's always.
I think it's
30.
always 30.
Okay. Yeah. From here on out, they start upping the amount of clue bottles you got to find. So.
I thought that, to be fair, I thought it was always 30. Like even from like Paris and
I think
that
personally at 20.
No, it was always 30.
yeah, it was always 30.
Oh,
You're probably
wow.
you're thinking of Sly 1 where the clue bottle number was always inconsistent.
That's
Only
it,
because
like
every single
area.
sub-area had, their own totals of clue bottles.
Yes.
Right, and more and more. And... Anyway, I'm just gonna turn. I'm gonna turn in this thing while I have the chance.
Yeah.
How much
sell it
is
as a
it
black.
worth?
Last bottle.
I forgot to sell it.
Yeah, sell it first, you dingus.
Sell it, Bentley. Thank you.
This bottle or
It's
flask.
300 something.
Get ye
dollars.
flask.
Yeah, nothing. We still need more. We still need more things. All right, let's do the mission.
Yeah, as far as we're concerned, their clue bottles are practically buried under obscurity by now.
Just be careful. If you get hurt, the nearest hospital is 106 miles from here.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
According to my map,
They never really struck me as the people that would use hospitals anyway. They would just, use their own medical expertise. Or in this case, just Bentley's.
I'll take a hidden
Yeah.
passage
Bentley,
to the front door.
trauma
anytime.
center, Bentley.
Oh, God.
Spyro 3 Bentley.
I can just imagine, the last time they tried to let Murray be the one to do the medical stitching up, it did not go well.
Oh my God, Sly, you've been infected with guilt.
Time for me to use the touch. No, we're not using the touch, Bentley. As bad as that sounds.
got a case. Bentley, he's got a case of the olds.
you found
My gosh, Sly, these rings around your eyes are practically concave.
Holy free holy, Sly! You've got multiple chins!
Bentley, I haven't been getting that much sleep.
get you up there.
All right.
Santa
Chihuahua.
Santa Maria!
Well, that also leads me to believe the freaking what is it? I'm serious. Like, what was that movie? Like, we had like a diabetic Murray.
What?
Diabetic
Yeah,
Murray?
that's what he was. He was like, you need your afternoon fruit. You need all this stuff. There's always.
Oh, you're
happens
thinking of
to
the
you.
trailer
Skip-
from Sly.
Yeah, the Sly
The
Cooper
movie.
trailer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you mean
I wouldn't
Weekend
call
at
that
Murray's?
diabetic. Well, I guess you could sort of call that diabetic, but it's like it's just Murray being a fat so
Murray
soft.
being Murray.
Murray's
Right.
New Groove.
But it tasted like fruit.
Oh, that is not
Murray's new
appropriate.
groove. In the end, it's all about the Murray.
Mr. Murray's Wild Ride.
I'm still saying that, like, with everything, like, I still was really liking where that was going. Like, why can't we just ever order pizza like normal people?
I like
Hopefully they're able to use some of that for that show that they're apparently turning it into.
turning
I'd
into
be
a
down
show.
for that.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen that.
I forget if it was Hulu, Netflix, or just normal television, but yeah, they.
I think
were
it's normal
fine to-
television.
Yeah, I think it's
And if I'm not mistaken, yep. And if I'm not mistaken, I think if not the entire team, then at least a good handful of its members are also worked on the Sonic Boom cartoon.
Oh,
Same company.
okay.
Right, so there's Rajan. There's the heart that he's using to stimulate everything.
Looks like half the heart is
Yeah, warms the coggles of his heart.
the spice lamp.
Whenever I hear "Caucus of My Heart," I think of Robin Williams when he appeared on Sesame Street a long time ago.
Get out.
Really?
Rajan's
No.
character
Yeah, he-
Iron-based liquid
follow
would
that stick.
mechanical heart pump out.
Basically, what happened was Robert Williams was on the show. And his idea was he was supposed to represent conflict with a two-headed Muppet thing, but the two-headed people were like, but the two-headed Muppet were being too nice to one another to the point where Robin himself started getting mad at them.
Oh my god.
And at one point, he's like, "All right, I know that you all are being very nice and everything. That warms the very cockles of my heart. But right now, we need to." And it's just out of nowhere that word and him how it sounds so simple.
You can't your conflict, so sit down.
Yeah. So sorry, we just talked about nothing else. Well, okay, you got your taste of the deep jungle. So join us in the next part where we're going to be using our information we have to try and get into a very secure spice irritation chamber.
A
Irritation.
spice irritation chamber.
Yeah,
Well
no,
done.
that's it. But that's it. That's the heart's irritant. You get what I'm saying. We're gonna go and do more crap that the Sly Gang does. Till next time.
Irritation could lead to a heart attack.
All right, Mr. Clockwork, sir, I'm putting you on a spice-free diet.
Now turn your head and